Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. It's something I've been thinking about quite a lot in regards to relationships and how we interact with other people, but primarily how we act with ourselves when we're in our relationship. And by relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a work relationship. Like every interaction that you have with another human being is relational, and every interaction that you have with another thing is relational. But I think we can hear words of advice or thoughts about relationships and think, oh, it doesn't apply to me because my relationship is not like that. We've all got friends, we've all got family connections. This is for anyone who has other human beings alive on the planet with them at this time. And the thing that I have been thinking about quite a lot lately is how much we can get lost in the idea of what the other person should be doing and our big old rule book for how other people should be behaving, and how that can sideline us from our own desires and our own wants and the things that we strive for and the things that are important to us in our lives. Because what I have noticed is very often we can get lost in this idea of what someone else is doing or what they're not doing and how that impacts us and blame them for the way that we're feeling. And I find that a lot of us, myself included, get lost in is the sense of who we want to be in this relationship and how we want to respond. Suddenly, the way that we are, the way that we feel, the things that we do are dictated by someone else's actions. And that's so disempowering. It's such a deep-seated level of allowing someone else to control your behavior. And I wonder where there might be space for us to each individually, especially you, especially me, to take that back, to be able to say, it's not about what someone else does. It's about who I want to be here. It's about how I want to respond in this situation. Owning our side of the dynamic, no matter what the other person does, no matter what the other person says, ultimately creates and curates a relationship with ourselves. And that's the longest relationship that we're ever going to have in our lives. So rather than getting all mixed up in what someone else should or shouldn't have done, said they were going to do, didn't act upon, which can be all of these noisy details that we can get really distracted by sometimes. Coming back to this narrative of who do I want to be here? How do I want to curate more of my life, my values, my ethics into what I'm doing to be more fully myself in this relationship and therefore in my relationship with myself? Clarifying our own values and our own interactions rather than trying to control the outcomes or trying to control other people's behaviors is always going to bring you closer to yourself. It's always going to make you feel more like you've come home, because the more that we stray into other people's territory and other people's turf and try and get them doing the things that we think are going to award us happiness, that's when we get all lost and out of balance and out of ourselves. The more that we keep coming back to who do I want to be here, the more that it's going to feel like coming home. And the more that we do that, the more that we are able to respond from a place of who we want to be rather than who we think we should be. And when we are being more of who we want to be, and when we're more rooted in the things that are important to us, the value systems and the ethics and the kind of emotions and feelings that we want to guide our lives, the less we get distracted and swayed off our own paths by what someone else is or isn't doing. So this week's brief core lesson to cut through it all is it's never about what the other person's doing. It's always about how you want to respond to yourself in that relationship. What kind of relationship do you want to keep building with you? Because that is the relationship of a lifetime. I'll speak to you next week. If you've been enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, you will love Self-Care School. Self-Care School is longer versions of this, more in-depth and more personalised. We have a whole hub of courses from body image to boundaries, perfectionism, time management, and a whole range of other topics. You name it, there's probably a course on it. But most importantly, we also have a weekly group coaching call where you get to apply this stuff to your everyday life and get support to try and untangle your own story from some of the emotions that you might not be enjoying in your life. If you would like to learn how to apply this work to your specific situation and to be building a life of your dreams, I would love to see you inside. Do pop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.